Hey guys, this is Nax and Shez, Footy Focus Podcast, episode 4.
Yeah, we're veterans now, 4th episode already.
So since the first 3 weeks, we've now put the pod on Buzzsprout, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. All you got to do is search for Footy Focus Podcast or Footy Focus Podcast by Nax and Shez. So hopefully,
Yeah, I've sent a few invites out to my Facebook friends, and you're an admin, so you can send it out to some of yours. How's the Twitter feed going? Did you?
No, we'll update that tonight. Sent a message to Kane Corns, but nothing back from him. So I'll keep stalking him.
All right, perfect.
We'll persist there.
Yes, keep stalking. Good. Okay, so we normally start off by talking about some non-footy related issues and sort of try to link it back to footy related issues, but sort of haven't done that this week.
Got a few different topics we can talk about though.
Yeah, there was something obvious this week, so maybe next week we'll do that, but we might just talk about ourselves for those people that don't know us. I think most of them know me because a couple of
You're very active
my
on
friends,
social media.
yeah, they listen to it. They know of you, but so they don't know about you. So maybe tell us a bit about
Myself.
Yeah.
So Nax, so go by Shanaka. So obviously went to school with you.
It's Guyan who goes by Shanaka, who goes by Nax.
Goes by Nax. Middle name Shanaka, first name Guyan. So Shahan's schoolmate. So went to high school together and obviously bonded over a love of footy.
Yeah,
so
well, in high school you wanted to be a journalist, right? Is that right?
I wanted to be a footy journalist and I just thought it was too much work. So
you probably get
settled on accounting.
Paid better in your current job. Yeah, this gives you an opportunity to do a bit of that journalism stuff.
Yeah, something to do with sports.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's a good outlet.
So what do you do for work, Shahan? I'm a boring old accountant. What do you?
No, I just do have a desk job as well. So I'm a graduate architect, technically, not registered.
Oh, building houses.
Yeah, we do a lot of work for Reese Plumbing and social housing. So now it's going along good. Enough about our professional careers. Tell us a bit about what you watch on Netflix.
So, big revelation the other day. Did you hear that new movie that was on Netflix?
What?
They added a new movie the other day. Notebook.
Oh, no.
So that's my favourite movie of all time, non-sports related. So, yeah.
I haven't seen it, no.
Yeah, watch that. Nicholas Sparks, based on the book. So, yeah, watch that one.
Maybe after I get married, I'll watch it. But
So, what are you watching, Jihad?
Not what? At the moment, nothing. But I just finished watching Lunatics by Chris Lilly. Have you seen that?
That's the Aussie guy?
Yeah, Chris Lilly, the Summer High Tide guy.
Oh, yeah.
Jonah. Yeah. No, Lunatics is pretty good. He plays like 6 characters.
Yeah.
And they're all like bogans or weirdos and stuff. Like 2 of them are really good. Yeah, one of them is like a retail, a boss at a fashion chain, and he wants to be like a fashion designer. And he's married to this Indian lady, and they have like an Indian girl as a daughter. Yeah, but he's attracted to like objects, so he had an affair with the cash register.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yeah, and then you see some weird footage, and then they end up getting married. The cash, it's just spoiler alert, by the way. Yeah, so he marries the cash register. So, it's pretty funny. Good stuff by Chris Lilly. So 10 episodes, about half an hour each. So give it a watch if you haven't.
Binge watch that. Anything else you're watching?
Have you seen Black Mirror?
Is that one with Miley Cyrus? Or she's a guest star?
Yeah. Yes, they're making season 5. I don't know, you just seem to read headlines, I guess. But yeah, they're making a 5th season. So anyone who hasn't watched it should get onto Black Mirror because it's really good. My sister started watching it. They got creeped out by like one of the first episodes, so they stopped. But it's not that scary.
Okay, maybe they just get scared very easily.
Yes.
Shout out to the sisters.
They make up like 50% of the audience. All right, so we move on maybe to the Cricket World Cup, which is starting in 2 days or something.
Yeah, this week. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's not even spoken about.
So we only thought about this today because it hasn't really been spoken about. I think in previous World Cup it's been built up for like a month. I don't know if the sandpaper controversies.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's sort of taken the shine off cricket.
Literally the
in
shine.
Australia.
Good pun.
Yeah, nice. That wasn't even written down.
No, I think I don't know. It just seems to be losing popularity, cricket. But I think Australia's probably still the favourites, especially
in England.
Yeah. Well, Steve he's played 5 practice games since his year end. He's averaging over 100. So Warner looks pretty hungry too. So if those two stand up, then they're going to be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, I can see it now, just the headlines. Oh, what a comeback by these two. Oh,
Yeah.
they've sort of done it again.
Well, they've won the last 2 World Cups. They'll probably win this one too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. How about Sri Lanka? That's probably the other reason why we're not paying attention, because all our friends are Sri
Oh, I
Lankan.
thought we weren't talking about Sri Lanka.
We're not doing too well, so which is pretty sad, because all my friends are really passionate about it. And when I asked one of them at dinner over the weekend, his face just turned...
Rolled his eyes.
It was just... Yeah, I know. He rolled his eye. Looked just totally off it. And this guy, like, loves cricket, so... Yeah, it's pretty shit time to be Sri Lankan in more ways, not even just sport, even the other serious stuff.
Just in general. So we'll do a quick NBA playoff update for
As
the
always.
NBA fans out there. Yeah, the typical update. So yeah, the Raptors made the finals yesterday, beat the Bucks 4 straight games, down 0-2 and then won 4-2. So they're starting in 2 days. I guess the big question is whether Kevin Durant's fit enough to play. He's the best player in the world at the moment. So
they came back from Zip
2,
They
yeah.
won 4 in a row. Yeah.
Won 4 straight.
Wow,
So
that's some amazing comeback stories last couple of months in soccer and this.
yeah, there's sports is really going well apart from cricket, but no, we'll see. I'm still backing the Warriors to win regardless. They swept the last round without him, and yeah, they're just stacked at the moment. So anyway,
cool.
move on to something we're grateful for. Shahan, what are you grateful for this week?
So this week was Aboriginal appreciation round.
So Doug Nicholas round.
Yeah, it was that. So it was really good initiative. I think it's like the 10th year they've done it, so it's gone pretty well. So I'm grateful for a player by the name of Daniel Wells. So he used to play for the Kangaroos. He was drafted unusual circumstances because Wayne Carey left and we got pick 2, but that pick 2 was meant to be Carlton's, but Carlton got done for cheating and paying players money and not they went over the cap and they were sort of under the table cash sort of thing. So the AFL took those picks off and gave it to St Kilda, who picked Goddard, and Kangaroos, who picked Wells. So he's been a gun player. He's probably still my favourite player, even though he plays for the Collingwood now. He just glides. He's beautiful to watch. He makes always the right decision with ball in hand. I think the fact that he played for the Kangaroos and during a time when we weren't dominant and didn't have a deep midfield sort of cost him doing better and sort of getting all Australians and things like that. But he won 2 best and fairers, so he did really well with the Kangaroos. Played his first game for the year against Sydney for Collingwood, and he had 3 goals to half-time, and then he was just everywhere. Unfortunately, he got injured. He hurt his knee, so it sort of sums up his career. And he's going to be out for the next 3 months, so hopefully he gets his body right and is able to come back and have an impact for finals for Collingwood. But no, I just love watching him play, and he's just on and off the field, he's all class.
It was his first game for since round 12 last year.
Yeah. Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I saw the highlights of him.
Wells, yeah.
He's just very clean. I think he's probably the missing piece for them.
Yeah.
Missed him all through last year. And I know from being a Port supporter, Kane Corns used to lock down everyone. He couldn't lock down Wells.
Exactly, yeah.
He always used to struggle.
And Ken Corn said on the radio as well this week that Daniel Wells was the first player you stop if you play the Kangaroos. So he's probably my favourite player still, apart outside the Kangaroos. Do you have a favourite player outside Port? There's a lot of good players out there.
Yeah, again on Collingwood, Jordan De Goey. Hate Collingwood, but yeah, love watching him play.
Yeah, De Goey's a gun.
Yeah, just explosive.
He can go to the midfield now as well and have an impact. They've been doing that a bit lately.
Well, I think that's the only thing missing from his game. If he gets a bigger tank, I think probably the world sky's the limit for him.
All right, do you want to talk about what you're grateful for?
Yeah, so again, on the Aboriginal theme, Sydney Stack. I think he's just been a revelation this year. I think Shahan might have talked about him on the Unsung Rookie segment a few weeks ago. Wasn't picked up in the draft, but now he's locked into the flag contender down back.
He's very consistent, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's had a bad game so far. And you can see he's played, I think, 8 or 9 consecutive games so far. He just takes the game on. A great intercept mark already, which is really big in today's game.
Yeah. And he's physical. Did you see that bump on Viney? I think
that was huge.
Viney didn't play the next week.
Yeah, exactly. And Viney's probably the hardest nut in the comp.
Yeah.
So for a first-year player to do that, it's pretty good. Recommend reading that article by John Ralph in the Herald Sun. Really gave a great insight onto his background, why he might not have been picked up, and He's just very.
I think
what's the word?
sorry to cut you off, but I think John Ralph's turned around his career as well. He used to be really annoying, but now he's writing good articles.
Feel good articles.
Exactly. No, well, yeah. So I'm sort of agreeing what he's saying, which is very unusual, because he's a bit of he's got an annoying face.
Is that why he didn't accept our follow request on Twitter?
Probably, yeah. we should tag him in this. But yeah, keep going.
No, so I think I think you can see. I think if a struggling club picked him up, he might not have fitted in so well, but you can see the good culture at Richmond.
Yeah.
Got a lot of Aboriginal boys there. I think he stayed at Jim Hardwick's house for a few months.
Yeah.
Staying at,
Yeah, I think it helps if a club that has won a premiership recently takes a punt on these sort of bad boys,
window,
you could say. Yeah, so because they sort of have nothing to lose. So, and they have that, like you said, strong culture. Because Dale Garlett was another Indigenous boy that got picked up by Hawthorn when they were doing well, but it didn't work out for him, unfortunately. So he went back to WA and had a few criminal issues and had to go to jail. So it doesn't always work out, but yes, Sydney Stacks is one that is doing really well.
So we'll go on to, I guess, the most topical segment of the week, Brad Scott. So I'll leave that floor's yours, Shaheen, as a Roos supporter.
All right, thanks. I might try to keep it short, but you actually messaged me, and I thought it was an opinion piece you were sending me, so I didn't believe it. But then, it blew up Friday night. So when I heard it, I was pretty happy because I wanted Brad Scott gone for a while now. And I think a lot of the Kangaroos supporters felt the same way. I got a text from another friend as well telling me, oh, am I sad about Brad Scott is going? No, this guy goes like, don't worry about what he goes for. But he I don't know if he was joking, because sometimes it's hard to tell when he's joking or not. And he was like, oh, you guys made top 10 last year, aren't you sad? That's a good effort. I'm not. I was really annoyed by that, because top 10 is not an achievement.
Not good enough.
No way, no. So he was a good coach. He got us to 2 prelims, and he got really attached to the players. I think he backed them in a lot, and and he spoke well off the field. So I think he did a lot of good for us, but at the same time, I think the time was right. The way we were going, he was going to go at the end of the year, so he might as well just go now.
So what do you think he did well in his 10-year reign?
He did a lot right, I think. He got us within a game of a grand final a couple of times, so that's not easy to do. But he was able to get the most out of the recruits, like Jared Waite, Sean Higgins, Marley Williams even. So a few of these recycled players, he got the best out of them. Yeah, so he did that. And off the field, like I said before, he put us in a stronger position. Whereas when he came, we were sort of Gold Coast bound. But now we're sort of Tasmania bound, but that's another story. But we're definitely not going to Tassie. But yeah.
So what were some of the things you criticised him about? What was his weaknesses, I guess?
I think player development would be the main one, because apart from Cunnington and Bren Brown and Majak, who took about 9 years to develop, he hasn't developed anyone to be an elite player. That's not entirely his fault. It's probably assistant coaches and maybe even recruitment as well. But I think development has a lot to play. So hopefully the next coach we get can get the best out of the young players a bit more. And maybe it comes down to not giving them an opportunity, because he doesn't drop players even if they have a bad game.
That's what you've been telling me for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I know, yeah. We got smashed by Freo earlier this year. He dropped one player after that round 1 loss. And we just kept losing, and there'd be more forced changes due to injury than unforced. So, yeah. So it took, Ben Jacobs became a tagger because another coach who was filling in for Brad Scott made him play that role. So I think, the next coach we'll get, I think we'll see better player development. So, yeah, like Brad Scott said, there's only blue skies ahead for the Roos. So we might just recap the mid-season draft that was on. It was pretty boring. I was watching it, and it was on the website. So
who do you think's going to make the biggest impact? So I think Kyle Dunk, I mentioned him on the pod before. I think, he's going to the D. So I really like this pick. He's a goal-kicking mid, and hopefully he can make an impact. Yeah,
another inside mid,
Yeah, I think if he's half as good as his brother, he'll make a huge impact.
Yeah, because they've got Brayshaw's a bit out of form, and Petrarca's not doing a lot. So, if he can complement those guys, he might be a good pickup. Snelling, he played. Will Snelling played for you guys?
Yeah, he played, I think, 1 or 2 games for us, and he's got picked up
He went to
by
Essendon,
Essendon today. So, honestly, I haven't seen too much of him. I'm not sure how much of an impact he will make. I think he'll get a lot of games because they've got the players on the injury list.
And Marlon Pickett, that was an interesting one because that guy, he broke his finger this weekend and he's out for 10 weeks or something. He's got metal in his hand.
Well, I think
And he's 27 years old.
I think that's a pick to watch out for because clearly they're not going to get much use out of him this season. I think this is more of a long-term pick, which I think he fits well into the pressure camp the Tigers have. So he's probably one to keep an eye on, hopefully towards the back end of this year.
Yeah. And Cam Sutcliffe, he's ex-Freo player.
Yeah,
Is he midfielder?
Yeah, support. Yeah, we're playing him mid/jam backs. We recruited him as the captain of our reserve side, so we've kind of stolen him from the reserve side. So
you probably go back there anyway.
So we'll probably go back. I don't see him getting a game this week in China, so we'll see.
That actually, it's not too bad because a lot of the other players they take him from their local club and then miss out. But this isn't not too bad because he's not really missing out, and he gets like 50 grand or something.
Yeah.
We might jump into our game recaps. Which game? I watched the Blues and Saints game. What game did you watch?
So I watched the Eagles Crow, so I think I got the better out of the two this week.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that first then.
Yeah, so reigning premiers were down by 33 points early in the third away from home. Stormed home to kick 8 of the last 9 goals to win 85-73. I just thought Gaff's two-way running in that third quarter really shifted the momentum. Took a lot of inset marks running back.
Was it a contested game?
I thought it was contested. I thought it wasn't a contested game. I thought Adelaide were really on top. Players like Harris Yeoman and Sloan dominating, I guess, the premiership midfield. And then I thought Shed was good all day. 22 contested possessions.
22, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Almost a season high, maybe.
Yeah, I think probably career high for him. So I thought Gaff stood up when he needed to in that fourth quarter. Had a few, not Gaff, sorry, Shuey. So Shuey had a few at that.
They're all guns, yeah.
Yeah, the centre clearance he really broke away and
in the last quarter.
Yeah, really, I guess, turned the game on its head.
What about the forward line? Darling, Kennedy, Oscar Allen, they're all tall, so did that function okay?
Yeah, so Kennedy and Darling didn't really touch the ball too much, but knowing Kennedy, he still kicked 3 goals. Darling kicked, I think, the game sealer at the end.
Yeah, just moments here for good players. If they don't have an impact during the game, they just need a couple of moments.
Well, that's why they're the premiership, I guess, defending premiers actually. And then I thought Oscar Allen actually was the most impressive out of the 3. I thought that goal at the end where he tapped it to himself showed pretty good composure for effectively a first-year player. So, yeah, they're scary good at the moment, the Eagles. How about your game, Sean?
Yeah, look at that. Okay. All right, cool. I just got a text saying someone of our fans are listening to our first episode, so go us.
Yeah, good time.
Speaking of West Coast, Shane Van Dort wanted a shout-out.
Shane Van Dort? You mean the Eagles fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he wanted me to promote his tattoo business or just a shout-out, but here you go. And I think we're going to steal Adam Simpson, Shane, so suck on that. Okay, so I watched the Blues Saints game, and this was a tight game, but it was a pretty average game. It was a close game. Saints, they sort of broke away in the third quarter. Blues came back a bit, but just weren't good enough. St Kilda won 68-55. Carlton, they just couldn't kick it inside 50. They had no structure. They had 3 tall forwards, but it just wasn't working. They kicked it to Silvani on one-on-one a couple of times. Gibbons, a VFL player, he's playing pretty well. He kicked a couple of goals. But, yeah, there was just no flow in their game. I think maybe it's just because they're young. But if they can work on that, then they've got the tools up forward that can mark the ball and kick a goal. Kerno, McGovern, Mackay, they're all talented players. So Jade Gresham was probably the best on ground. So that guy's a gun. He's a really good player to watch as well. He makes good decisions, good goal sends. And Jack Steele was the other player that stood out. So we normally go for players that aren't recognised.
Talked about.
These two were talked about as the better players. But St Kilda, you can probably pick anyone on their list and they're not going to get... They're the... what do you call it? Unsung. Because they've got no stars really. So those two will definitely be they're stars if they're not. And Casbolt played pretty well off the half back line as well. So I think it's easier for do you agree with that? Players to go back and become better players?
Yeah, I think because they know the leading patterns, I think they find it easier just following an opponent
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
know
yeah.
what to
Because they're not
do.
making the play, yeah?
And they're better intercept marks than probably
Yeah.
natural defenders.
Yeah. So any other players who have done that? I think Hook.
Your boy Magic.
Yeah. And Jones as well,
Yeah.
Caswell's teammate.
I think even Hooker and Hurley, you could probably say as well. Your players. We'll give you credit for that one. Better back down forward than.
Okay. So we move on to the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, so we'll go with the first sponsor this week. So it's a nice new restaurant in Waterford in Ireland. It's called She Hunts.
What do they sell?
It's food.
Is it Sri Lankan food?
4.6 out of 5 rating. So
all right, if I go there, I'm
we should
definitely
try
going.
it when we go.
Maybe I get a discount. I know they've got one extra E in their name, but I'll tell them about this plug. Maybe we'll get a free biryani rice or something.
Yeah, we should.
With the Guinness.
So while we're still on the Carlton game, do you think Sam Petreski-Seaton is doing enough?
No way. He's was really average yesterday. He hasn't lived up to his number 5 draft pick so far. He needs to do more. He was compared to Daniel Wells when he came in, but he's nowhere near that at the moment. So he's got to lift. He's got to. I don't know what it is. He had one good game against the Bulldogs earlier this year where he just got 35 possessions and a goal or something. So Sam Petreski-Seaton needs to do more.
Yeah.
What about Rampy? Did you see his brain fade against Collingwood? He
Yeah.
ran over the mark in the dying stages.
Oh, he went over it by about 2 or 3 meters.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So can a leader do that, do you think? Is it acceptable?
Yeah, so I think him and Tex Walker are probably in the same boat. Probably a bit harsh, but I don't think he should be captain at the moment. I don't think the way he's letting his team down at the end of the game, probably lucky to not give away the goal against Essendon. And Maine missed that goal too, which probably isn't talked about enough. So he cost him a goal at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Not setting a good example for the youngsters too. How about the Giants, Shahan? You reckon they've broken their MCG's curse once and for all?
I didn't watch a lot of this game. I saw a bit of it, but they played Melbourne, who, other than gone, didn't really put up a fight. So I don't know if it's a mental thing. I think they just have come up against good opposition. I guess they'll come up against good opposition in the finals. So, but I think they've got all the talent there. So I think Himmelberg kicked 4 goals. So yeah, so
Finlayson as well.
Yeah, so they've got talented forwards. The midfield that's deep with Taranto and Hopper as sort of complementary players to the Kellys and Cornelios. So now I think they've got the run and the dash to take advantage of the wings of the MCG. So
their game style should suit the MCG.
I think they'll be fine. So watch out for them. One team they couldn't beat were the Hawks. So do you reckon Clarkson is the difference between finals and not?
Yeah, I think for this team, I think he is. I mean, the fact that they're sitting 9th, I think it is at 5-5. They've got a below average side looking at the team on the weekend. I mean, he's just done a number on Leon Cameron and Ken Hinkley this season. So I think he's. Yeah.
Did you watch that game, Port Adelaide?
Yes, shouted watching that game.
The first they're not playing pretty footy though, are they, Hawthorn?
No,
Because I was watching the first quarter and it wasn't that exciting to watch.
Well, it's their coaching and their game plan that stands out. They just punished us for every turnover we made, and I think that's more game plan than probably personnel.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have given Clarko 9 votes.
I guess the personnel isn't as talented as when they had Hodge and Mitchell Lewis running around, Rioli.
Well, I think,
so now it's got to be that slow game. Yeah.
I think that's a test of a good coach if you can carry a below average side further than they should. So.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, Brad Scott sort of didn't do that with us. Even on game day, he if he was getting beaten by a coach, he didn't have a plan B. He was. Yeah.
To move on to our underrated and overrated players. Shahan, you got any underrated players?
From the game I watched, I picked a couple of players. So underrated is Jack Steele. So he used to play for GWS, and Kangaroos actually wanted to pick him up, but we couldn't get him. So I think our talent identification is pretty good, but just couldn't develop again. Shout out Brad Scott.
Third one today.
But yeah, Jack Steele had 28 possessions and he nullified Cripps, even though Cripps was pretty good. 27 pressure acts and 10 tackles, so he works both ways. Like, I think you were saying, was it Gaff who was running both
Gaff
ways?
does it too,
Similarly, Steele, he was really good at that, so I think he doesn't get enough credit, and he should. and he's sort of picking up the slack that Jack without Hanbury and Jack Stevens in the midfield. Which
Yeah, and how about overrated players? Do you have one?
It might be a bit harsh, but Mitch McGovern from Carlton. Carlton paid pick 13 from in last year's draft to get him, and he had 5 possessions and didn't score. Probably not all his fault, like the ball coming in didn't do him any justice, but I think, he's just got to try harder or do more, because he's definitely not playing like a pick 13 at the moment.
Nothing like his brother, is he?
No, his brother's fat. No, okay. What about all Australian smokeys? So we like to pick out a player that doesn't get the recognition as he should, and who have you gone for?
Yeah, so Michael Walters, the match winner on the weekend.
Choice.
So
Good choice.
you agree, obviously. So he's averaging 21 touches and 2 goals a game. So it's not just he's after the siren kick on Sunday. He's just a classy player. I think he's been an A-grader for a few years. Just probably doesn't get talked about enough because he's playing in a Western Australian team. I think
the gun. Yeah.
I think him and Brad Hill are probably the main 2 reasons why
Brad Hill was good as well.
Why Freo have taken a real step up this season too. So
Now Walters is really good. He looks like he's ducking and trying to look for the free kick, but I think half the time he's just trying to avoid the tackle or just get under. So, he's a gun. He's been on my radar for a while now, so I'm happy you brought him up. Yeah, he's become consistent. I think a few years ago he was a bit inconsistent. He was more like goal sneak, but now he's pushing into the midfield and really helping Fife out. And good choice. I don't really have one, and I think we're getting close to that 30-minute mark. So if I had to pick, I'll go for Jade Gresham again. I think, he signed a contract as well recently, so I think a lot of other clubs would have come for him, but he's sticking with the Saints, I think maybe in like 4 more years. So might even have some leadership qualities, so maybe he can captain the club one day, but I think he's one for the future to make AA, definitely. All right, we're almost done, guys. Thanks for listening still.
Still listening. So we're going to the hot take of the day. So my turn this week. So
this might be offensive though. Go.
What's that?
Go.
So Eclipse Eclipse is sponsoring this segment. So I buy a lot of mints from them. So they had no choice really. So hopefully they.
I thought you were having go at our audience, our listenership, saying they need mints. But no. You used to chew a lot of chewing gum, yeah? Is that why?
Yeah, I've moved on to Eclipse now. It's not healthy for you, apparently.
For your jaw. I think you was getting some repetitive stretch. Yeah. But Eclipse, thank you for
sponsoring.
Well, unofficially sponsoring. Which flavour do you like? Peppermint or spearmint?
Peppermint. No, sorry, spearmint.
Spearmint's the green one, yeah?
Spearmint's the green one.
Yeah. No, I like peppermint.
The blue one. Yeah.
Peppermint's so much better. Okay, cool. So what's our hot take?
So the hot take, is a mid-season trade period. I think it's got to come into play. I think out of FA players like you can see Gibbs and Jenkins at the Crows, Braden Sy from Collingwood who did so well in the finals last season.
Yeah, he's really good. He would be an awesome addition to like an Essendon. Yeah. I think Essendon are really liking that big-bodied midfielder. Yeah. They're a small midfield. Like Heppel's not that small. Merritt's pretty tiny, and even Langford, who's a taller midfielder, is not that physical. David Myers is probably the only big-bodied mid. So that's a good call. I
think even Jenkins to the Dogs would be a good pick-up for them. Give Norton some support. I think they could just find some new homes. They should be playing AFL, not stewing away in the reserves the whole season.
I think David King or someone said it'll come, but it might not be for another 3 or 4 years. But it'll be good when it does, I think. I think that sort of wraps us up. Did we miss anything today? I don't think so.
I think we've covered most of it.
Next week, any idea?
Yeah, so we might do talk on drugs or concussions. We might leave that up to the listeners, actually. Put some feelers out and see which is the most popular topic.
Email us at footyfocus.podcast@gmail.com. Yeah, good. All right, thanks for listening, guys.
Catch up.